Hi and welcome back as we begin the class. Now I'm going to go ahead and start with the bodies block. Okay, per the survey I conducted last time, I noticed that quite a number of you do not know what this is. Please, if you don't know what this is, take time and then follow this class keenly. And again, if you don't understand it after first watch, that's not it. Watch it over and over and over and over again. My DM is always open, like I've always been saying. Just slide into my DM and then ask the necessary questions that you want to ask. Okay, now let's start. Now we are only drafting the bodies block. The bodies block is like half of drafting your bodies. Okay, the measurement that you have, you're going to only draft half of it for the front and then half of it for the back. Okay, so we're going to draft just half of the front and half of the back, and with the help of something we call unfold, we will get the other half of the back. Okay, and then with the help of something we call cut two, you'll get the other half of the back. Okay, so just follow what I'm doing. I'm sure if this is your first time, you are really going to understand it and you'll be able to do it after watching it, I mean, more than 2 times. I'm very sure about that. Okay, so let's begin. The first measurement I'm going to start with is what I call the neck. Okay, I'm writing this here so that it becomes very visible for you to see. Okay, I think I should use marker here. So I'm going to use neck, and I'm going to use I'm going to use across back, or something they call shoulder to shoulder. Across back and shoulder to shoulder are the same thing. Okay, and I'm going to use shoulder to high bust, and shoulder to waist. And just like the measurement I gave you earlier, okay, I asked you to write down. That's the same thing that we are going to use. Okay, shoulder to bust, shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, and then waist to hip. Okay, and then waist to knee. All right, and then you come to your bust measurement, your waist measurement, your hip measurement, and then your nipple to nipple or apex to apex measurements. Okay, so that's what you'll be doing now. Sorry, suffering cold. Right, so let's begin with it. It's not going to be difficult. So all the round measurements, okay, the measurement that goes around your body, okay, like your neck, it goes around your neck. Like your bust, it goes around your bust, your waist, your hip. All those measurements will be divided by 4. Whatever measurements you get there, you divide it by 4 for this practical. You divide it by 4 in 4. Okay, number 4. And then the measurement that goes from point to point, as in nipple to nipple, right, will be divided by 2. Okay, that's all you have to know about the measurements you are going to use. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do, even though I'm not going to use the neck, I want to draft the neck for you to see how the whole outlook would look like. Okay, I can ignore the neck side. Okay, but then I want to just show you how the whole thing is going to look like. All right, so let me just start by let's just go through. So first of all, my neck here is 15 inches. For my client is 15. My across back is 15 and a half, 15.5. I'm using 15.5 for my across back. Inches, actually, it's inches I'm working with. My shoulder to high bust, using this measurement, my shoulder to high bust is 9. My shoulder to bust is 11 and a half. My shoulder to under bust, okay, I didn't write shoulder to under bust. Okay, so I'm going to write shoulder to under bust here. Shoulder to UB under bust here is 15.5. 15.5. And my waist to hip is 10. My waist to what is this one? My shoulder to waist is 19. Yeah, my shoulder to waist. My waist to knee is it what? What is it? Shoulder to knee, waist to knee. Let me just take like 21. I think I'm not going to get to the knee though. I'm not going to get to the knee. And then my bust is 38. my sorry, my bust is 38, my waist is 30, and then my hip is 42. Okay, 42. So this is the measurement I'm going to use for the drafting. If you can't actually see it, let me try and zoom in and see if I can actually show you the measurements I'm going to use. Okay, so this is it. I think you can see now. Okay, so this one, shoulder to UB, is the shoulder to under bust. Okay, UB under bust. Right, I think that's all for the measurement. So let's get started. Right, so I'm going to start off with the neck. Okay, I'm going to start off with the neck. Now the neck, like I mentioned earlier, divided by what? 4. So I have 15 divided by 4. So this is how I do my measurements. This is how I do the division. I want to show you everything. I don't want to rush. Okay, this is how I do my measurement. So I take the tape measure like this. I need to divide 15 into 4. So 15 like this. Okay, this is my number 15. I'll just roll the tape measure here to 15. That is what divided by what? 2. And I'm going to get 7.5. Of course, that's true. Okay, when I'm done with that, I'll divide the 7.5 into 2 again. And then I'm going to have, I'll just pinch here, 3/4. Okay, sometimes if you can't read it, you just have to do what I've just done, and then it will land you at the exact point. Okay, sometimes you can't read the measurements you have on the tape measure, so it just take you to the exact points. All right, so this is 3 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to start. Now, usually I don't use the exact division I get for the neckline, because necklines are something that if you cut it to be big, usually it's very difficult to reduce it to be small. Okay, so whatever that the neck is, whatever that the neck measurement is, I usually make it 3 inches here, 3 inches here, and then 3 inches down. Before, when I'm done everything, I'll come and draw the type of neck I want, or after cutting the dress and then I want to shape it. That's when I go ahead to shape the neckline or cut out the neckline. Okay, because I don't want to cut anything that would stretch in the end, and then I can't close it. Do you get it? So usually I cut the neck to be very small, and after everything I cut it out to be the size I want. Okay, for a round neck like this, right? So let's start. So I stand here at this point and measure from here to here, 3 inches from here to here. So I'm using the tip of the brown paper. From here to here, 3 inches, from here to here, 3 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and then join it to like that. Join it like that. Okay. So let me bring this down a bit so you can actually see it well. I'm just making sure that everything is being recorded. Okay. Sorry. So my across back, I'm going to use that to draw my shoulder. Across back is 15.5. 15.5 divided by 2. So I take my tape measure again, 15.5. This is my 15. I'm going to put it behind the 15.5. And then divided by 2, I got what? 7/3. So I'm going to stand here at the edge and then mark my 7/3, like so. Okay, when I'm done, I'll add ½ inch to it. This ½ inch is just for my shoulder allowance. If I want to finish it, if I want to finish the shoulder, or if I want to join it to a sleeve, that is the ½ inch I've added. So plus half. Then for the shoulder slope, everybody has a shoulder slope. Okay, everybody's shoulder slopes down. So to get the slope, I come down here by just an inch and then join it to the neck. Okay, I'll just join here. My pencil is broken. Okay. Let me just find a new one quickly. Okay, let's just manage this one. It's not okay. So this right. So I'll just join it here. Okay, so that's what I have now. So my shoulder actually ends here. So I'm going to go ahead with the shoulder to under bust. Sorry, shoulder to high bust. So I'm going to stand here at the highest point, not this side, no, the highest point of my shoulder, just like you are taking the measurement. So from here is 9. I'm going to mark it. Okay. And then my shoulder to bust is 11.5. I will also mark that. My shoulder to waist is 19. I'll make it 20. So whatever measurement you have for shoulder to waist, you add +1. Okay, so I'm going to get 20 for that. Okay, so shoulder to waist is 20. I will explain why you need to add the +1. Okay, so shoulder to waist +1 is 20, and then my shoulder to hip. Okay, my shoulder. Okay, no, my waist to my hip. Waist to my hip is 10 inches. Okay, 10 inches. Now I can make my bodice block what end right at the hip, because this is just a top and it extends a little below the waistline. So I can just let it end here at the hip line without extending it to the knee side. Okay, even though I took the measurements, but I can just let it end here at the hip. Okay, it's not necessary if you want to ignore taking the waist to knee measurements. It's not really necessary, but I was just teaching you how that is done. Okay, so when I'm done, I'm going to draw through this horizontal lines. Okay, draw through them. These lines should be very straight. Okay, just make sure that you are getting your line straight. Okay, it's very important. So you get the right instruments for the drawing the lines basically. Okay, so when I'm done with this, now here is my HB, my high bust, and then this is my B, my bust. This is my W, my waist, and this is my H, my hip. Okay, I haven't measured my shoulder to under bust. Okay, I'll come back to that. But now let's go to shaping the top. Okay, now our bust is what? 38. 38 divided by 4 is what? So we have our 38 here. 38 divided by 4. Help me divide it. I mean, I've just shown you how to do the division. So 38 divided by 4 is divided by 2 is 19. 19 divided by 2 is what? 9.5, right? Or what? Yeah, I'm right. 9.5. Okay. So I'm going to stand here at the bust side here and divide it 9.5. And then my waist is what? 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. So I'll put that here, 7.5, 7.5. Okay. And then my hip is 42, that is 10.5. Okay, so my hip line, 10.5. When I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and join it with the straight lines like this. When I get to this side, I'll just extend it to join the high bust like that. Okay, and when I'm done, I can go ahead and then draw my armhole curve. If I have my armhole curve here, I can just go ahead and then use my armhole curve for the drawing of the armhole. Kindly hold on, I didn't search for it before beginning the class, so I have to find it now. Okay. Can't it's I don't think it's here. But is it here? Please hold on. I'm not wasting your time, not wasting your megabytes, your MB or your space. It's very necessary. I want to do everything professional, okay? Right. Sorry. Okay, so when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and draw my armhole. Now my armhole will start from here, this point, here, this point, and end on my shoulder like this. Okay, now if this is a dress, okay, if this is a dress, it will end on my shoulder, on my high bust line here. Okay, if you want to, if your client wears the dress and she feels that the armhole is a bit tight, you can let it come down all the way to here, to the midpoint of your high bust and then your back. You can draw it to join here. You can draw it to, let's say, to here, and to the midpoint line like this. But it can't exceed the middle portion of these two lines. It can't exceed the middle portion. I'm saying this is a dress. I'm not talking about the corset that we are doing. No. I'm saying if you are showing something like dress for a client with a sleeve, with an armhole and then a sleeve, okay, your armhole, if she wears it for the first time, she says is tight, and that the next one that you have to do is should be, let's say, loose. I'm saying that it can come down up to here also, and up to the middle point of this and that. Okay, that's where it can end. It can't exceed this line to come here and then to the bust. No, if it's a fitting dress, she can't raise her hands when she wears it. Okay, she can't, or she will not be able to raise her hands when she wears that dress. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and then clean that part. I mean, it's not really part of the class. Where are all the tools? I beg. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so now right now I can't even find an eraser. So pardon me here, I don't know where the erasers have them. Okay, so that was just by the way. Okay, this is just by the way, it's not part of this class. All right, right. But then sometimes you can also measure the person's armhole. You can measure the armhole and then divide it by 2. So you make sure if you have 20, if you had 20, it means that the distance from here to the end of the curve is what, 10 and a half. So use half for the front and then half for the back. That's also very possible to do. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's move on to draft something we call the dart. All right, I know most of you know what a dart is. That is basically used for what, shaping garments. Okay, you know the fabric can't conform to your body, automatically. So you need something we call dart to actually let it help you shape it to the body. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and then create my dart. And to create my dart, I'm going to use the nipple to nipple or the apex to apex measurement, and that is what hers is 8. Okay, nipple to nipple or apex to apex is 8, so it's 4 inches. Okay, 4 inches. Sometimes you can add a quarter to it. Okay, you can add a quarter to it, but I'm just maintaining the 4 inches. Okay, so when I'm done, I'll join it to the bust side, and I'll come and join this one also to the hip side. So the apex to apex or the nipple to nipple measurement I did is from the middle here on the waistline, on the bust line, and then on the hip line. Okay, and when I'm done, I'll just join all of them together, and then I'll extend all of them to the high bust like this. Okay, now my dart intake is going to just be, it's going to be just um it's going to be just it's going to be just 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to use here half inch here, half inch here, half inch, half inch. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here by half of an inch. Okay, now I don't think I should do all of this. Okay, fine. Okay, let me just go on because it's corset. Sometimes you don't need all of this, right? So I'm going to connect the dart intake. I said is just half, it's just 1 inch. So half inch on this side, half inch on this side. Now I'm going to connect all of them together at the waist side. So I'll connect them also to the hip side like I am doing right now. Okay, so that is how it's going to look like in the end. Okay, right. Okay, so remember that I haven't added any allowance at the side here. I haven't replaced the dart intake I'm going to take here at the side. I haven't done any of that. I've just drafted the bodice block from shoulder to my hip side. Okay, now we have something we call bust dart. Okay, the bust dart is also going to move away. It's also going to move away an inch from the bust point. Now, the point where your bust line and then your nipple to nipple line meet is called your bust point. Now, this part is where your nipple will show if you wear it, if you wear this dress. Okay, so for the nipple to actually flow well or flow smoothly, you actually move an inch away from it, and then your bust can flow like that. Okay, so now you remember that when we were drafting the shoulder to waist, it was the actual measurement was what, 19, and I made us do it what, 20. So that is because we are going to have a bust dart here at the side. Now if you have a bust dart, it means that when you sew this dart, the waistline is going to raise up. If I sew this dart like this, so like this, the waistline is going to raise up. Okay, so if I don't add that allowance and I sew this dart, it means that my shoulder to waist measurement is going to be reduced, okay, by an inch. Okay, so it's always important to add that inches here to the waistline, and then you can do so. That's just it. Okay, it looks like I'm talking too much. Okay, so that's just the front. Okay, that's just the front. So this is front. Let's move on to the back before we come back to do our pattern drafting for the corsets. Okay, so that's just your shoulder, that's just your bodice block for front. That's how you draft it. Very easy and simple. I'm not teaching you corset alone. I want to also add other things that you should also be knowing. Okay, that's why I'm talking too much. Pardon me. Okay. Right, so let's move on to the back. Now the back, you add an inch of I don't know how many inches you do yours, but me usually it's 1 inch. I start off with moving away from the edge an inch. Okay, and then I'm going to have this is going to be my zip allowance. Okay, if I want to fix a zip, this is going to be my zip allowance. Of course, we are not going to fix a zip. This is a corset class, so then it means that we are not going to need it. But then since I'm showing you how to draft the bodice block, I'm just including the zip. Okay, so this is my zip allowance. This is my zip allowance, right? So now my neck, I'm going to come down. You can do 1 inch or 1.5 of an inch, and then the width is going to be the same. The distance from here to here is going to be the same, but the distance from here to here is going to be reduced to 1.5 or 1 inch at the back, because usually when you wear a dress, your front is deeper than your back. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing for here. So this side is going to be 3 inches, and then here is going to be 1.5 or 1 inch. Any of them that you want, that depends on you solely. So I'm going to join it to this side. Okay, my across back was 7 3/4. Okay, together with the allowance was all what, almost 8.5. So I'm going to do that. You see, now the measurements I'm going to do, all the measurements I'm going to do, you should have in mind that the zip allowance is not going to be affected. Okay, I'm going to take all my measurements from this line here. It's not going to affect my actual measurements. Okay, so sorry, right, I need to make sure it's recording. So the measurement I'm taking again is not coming from the edge of the brown paper here, it's coming from this straight line. Okay, because if I don't want the zip allowance, I'll just fold it inside without affecting the original what measurement. So let's go on with the across back. I said it was what, almost 8.5. So I'll just mark it here, come down by 1 inch. Okay, and then I'll join it to the shoulder or the neck side, sorry, and then I'll come back. Shoulder to high bust is 9, shoulder to bust is 11.5, shoulder to waist is 19. So for the back, I'm not going to add any plus one because we don't have any breast that we are going to sew and bust that at our back. So I'm going to maintain the 19 at the back. The shoulder to waist measurement 19, I'm going to maintain it at the back. So from waist, so we move on to waist to what, hip, and that is going to be 10 inches. Okay, 10 inches. So when I'm done, I'm going to draw my horizontal lines through the line I have here. Horizontal lines. So let's move on. So my bust was 38. We had 9.5. I'll mark it. The waist was 7.5. The hip was 10.5. Was or is 10.5, any of them. Okay. So we join it here, and then we join here also to here. We draft our apex to apex or nipple to nipple measurements for the darts. That's what we are doing. So it was 8. So divided by 2 is 4. So here 4 on the bust side, on the waist side, and then on the hip side. So here 4 4 4. So then we are going to draw our line, our dart line. Okay, our dart line like that. So let's go on and create a dart. The dart here is going to be 1 inch at both sides, and I'm going to join all of them to the bust here. Because we don't have any bust or breast at the back, I'm going to connect it to this side straight directly. You see the back, the front here we came down by 1 inch. We didn't join it to the bust point. Okay, we came down 1 inch. So here we are just joining it there because there's no breast at the back. Okay, so here we join it, right? So this will be my back. I'm going to go ahead and then draw my armhole with a curve. Go ahead and draw my armhole with a curve. Okay, and that will be it. So now let's go ahead and then cut this out for our corset patterns. Okay, let's cut this out. Now we have now remember that there is no allowance added to this. Okay, There is no allowance that I've added to this. This is just the original block. Okay, the original block that I have here. So that's my front. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my back as well. Okay, I'm going to cut the shoulder slope. I'm going to cut the neck and shoulder slope. Okay. Yeah. So I have my front here and then my back here. Now let's get straight into drafting the block. Okay. I think this would be very interesting. Let's get straight into drafting the block. Right. So I have my back cap here. Let's get into drafting the corset block. Okay. The corset. Now I'll locate my shoulder to underbust. Okay. Shoulder to underbust. Right. Mine here is 15.5. Okay, this is the bra cap I'll be using. Okay, she's 38, but her breast is plenty. She has breast. Okay, so her 38 bust is not flesh. Okay, it's breast. She has like breast. You will see it when she wears it. All right, so this will be it. All right, this will be it. Now let me go ahead and then transfer my bust dart to my shoulder first. Okay, so I'm going to draw. Now to transfer this bust dart here to my shoulder, I'm going to draw a straight line from my bust point here, to my mid shoulder here, the middle of your shoulder. Okay, and then I'm going to cut through. I'm going to cut through it. Cutting through it is not going to end at the bust point, and then I'll go ahead and then close it and close the bust. You see, I'm just closing it like this. Closing it like this. So now I need what I call the masking tape or the paper sellotape. Let's see if I have one here. It looks like everything I'm using is scattered. Why is that? Why? This is bad. Okay, let me just use the pin to hold it. So here, I'm going to pin the bus together. If you have sellotape, you can, tape the bus side down. Okay, you can tape it down and you will be good. Right. So I'm going to use this bra cap to draw the style. Okay. Now, this is just a basic corset. Okay. Any other thing that you want in this picture, let me just get the picture and then we will do the outlines together. Right. So let's get to the drafting again. Once again, I wanted to look at the picture again so I know what exactly I'm doing. So I went to look at the picture. Right. So we have here, now you realize that there's a space in the middle of your corset, right? So that space, usually you have to determine how deep you want the middle to go down. Okay, how deep you want the middle to go down. So I want my middle to be in between my high bust and my bust, or it can be at my bust side. Any of them is cool. Okay, any of them is what? Very cool. Now you can let it settle. You can let your bra cap here settle on the shoulder to underbust line, or on the underbust line like this. Let me just draw it so that you see it properly. Okay, you can let your breast cap settle on the underbust line like this. Okay, and then you can draw it out and then cut your patterns, or you can push it up a bit so that when the person wears it, it pushes her breast up, lift her breast. Okay, so to achieve that, I can just go up. Instead of the 15.5, I can just do it like 15. Okay, so that I push her breast up a bit. So, okay, now you realize that the bra cap is a bit tilted. Okay, if you're in Ghana, because I kakra, so it's tilted towards the center side. Okay, it's tilted like this. All right, and now I'm going to the total. Um, you see, there's a space in between the two breasts. Okay, so you can use 1.5 for that, and to divide 1.5 is going to be 3/4. So I'm going to use 3/4 for this one, the space in between her breast. So 3/4, and I'll tilt the breast small, okay, so that when she wears it, she has this, feel tilted feeling, okay. There's some kind of style in the cap, so I'll just go ahead and then draw my style, the style I want, okay, out of the bodice block like this, okay. All right, did you get it? Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and why do I even not have an eraser here? What is happening? Hmm. Oh, this is very bad. Let me pause and get an eraser because I need to clean that and relocate it, reposition it. Okay, hold on. All right, so I'm back. Okay. Um, yeah. So this is it, and let me put this here and see. Okay. So I'm using the middle line here, the bust line. Let me clean this and that. Okay, so this is how I want it. All right. Okay. Now my top length. Okay. How long or short I want it, okay, my top length. So that is going to be measured from my shoulder to wherever I want this corset top to end, okay. Hers is my model's own is 24, okay, so 24, it means it's going to end here. All right, so I'll just go ahead and then style it, okay, style it as to how it should be for here, okay. 24. This is just my own style, and if you have a different style, you can go ahead and then do that, okay. Now you realize that the corset that you see has so many boning in the front, okay. Sorry, I'm suffering cold though, people forgive me. Okay, so it comes from here. You can see that if you look at one side of the corset, there's a line here, okay, and there's also one here, and then there's also one other side, okay. So to do that, I don't want to cause any confusion, okay. I'm going to leave this as it is. I'm not going to cut any darts for this, okay. Sometimes you can transfer the dart to the shoulder and add it to this one. Sometimes you can clean it, okay, and leave it like this, just like I have it right now, okay. I'll just clean the darts, okay. The most important thing is that the bust has been transferred, okay. Okay. Now I'm going to relocate it to the positions where I had my line. So let me go ahead and draw the style I think I have in the front. It's something like this, and then something like this, and then there's also one at the side, right? So I think this is what I have. Okay, no, it's not nice. It's not nice at all. It's not nice. The lines are not straight. So I think it's something like this. Let me get a clear picture again. Sometimes it's very difficult when you are drafting without looking at the picture.